What's going on, and welcome to the Checkpoint Podcast, where we help you set and reach new milestones in your service business. I'm your host, Matthew Armstrong. On this episode, we're going to give you 10 free or cheap tactics to help you get 10 new clients in 10 days. I'm here with Matt Allen, our Director of Education, aka the Professor. What's going on, Matt? Okay. I don't know about you, but there are times when I needed to add a handful of clients fast and felt stumped on how to do it. But I'd be willing to bet that I'm not the only one. Whether you're starting up now or you've been at it for years, we all get to a point where we either want to add more clients or replace existing ones, because our goal as service operators needs to be to maximize revenue and profit for whatever capacity we have. Now, we have compiled a list of tactics, and we've actually tried most of them.
Yep.
Now, they're all free or super cheap, and they can help you add new clients quickly. But before we jump in, we want to say this podcast is brought to you by Check. Check is a business management app built to help you organize and automate your small service business so you can leave your admin in the field. Now, if you run a small or solo service business, go register for Check for free today by hitting the link in the show notes, or go to hellocheck.co and click download. Check is the best and most affordable way for you to manage your small service business, and it's going to help you look extremely professional. You get to start with a 14-day free trial, no credit card required, so there's absolutely no risk for you. Go try it today. All right, Matt, let's jump in. We got 10 tactics, and I'm going to kick it off with one of the best and easiest ones. We're talking about texting family and close friends, the people who are supposed to love you the most.
Number one.
Ideally, they love you. Okay. But yeah, the thing here that you want to make sure to do is to always tell them what your services are and say, hey, first and foremost, do you need any of these services? I'm either starting up this business, or hey, I wanted to remind you that I am offering this business, or hey, I just added this business, this service, and let them know. So keep them informed, and then ask them, can you think of one person that you can refer me to? Because sometimes saying, hey, help me spread the word is a little too general.
Yeah, you need to be direct.
Gotta be direct.
Yes.
Gotta tell them what's up.
Tell them,
Mom,
tell
Dad,
them what you want. Tell
help
them what
me.
you need.
Give me these clients. Let me cut your grass.
Yes.
Or let me pressure wash your car or your driveway.
And tell your grandma to tell all her friends.
Yeah. When she was playing bridge.
Yes. Same thing.
Tell everyone down at the Lubies.
I don't even know what Lubies is.
Really? Are you serious? Okay. Lubies. For those of you who didn't grow up in the South, I grew up in Texas. Lubies was like the cafeteria. It was like the OG cafeteria thing that you went through. You picked out all the stuff that you want. They always had like red, yellow, blue, and green Jell-O at the end. True story. It came out like years after I stopped eating there that it was like had one of the worst health scores in like all of America. Sorry, Lubies.
Lubies, if you're listening, please don't sue us.
This podcast brought to you by Lubies. Oh gosh. Okay, we're only one in. Matt, hit us with number 2.
Knock on your neighbors' doors, right? Check in with your neighbors. Introduce yourself as a neighbor and say, hey, I live on such and such street. I have a lawn care business, pressure washing, name your business and ask them if they need your services. Again, same thing, be direct. Now, I will personally say I did not go directly with folks on my street, and that was more just like trying to maintain certain friendships with my neighbors. And we did a lot of like helping each other out. We did a lot of like, hey, I'll help you with your pruning your shrubs, and then the next weekend he's over, neighbors over there helping me change my tire, stuff like that. We did a lot of free stuff. But I will tell you, because my neighbors knew what services I provided, they were able to tell their friends.
That's good.
So even if you're not going to knock on your, next door neighbor, they need to be able to like let their friends know. I had a neighbor who was a locations manager on a movie set, and they needed their, like, for the parking lot wherever they were doing the movie shoot. We do a lot of movies here in New Orleans. They needed the parking lot, like it was parking on the grass. They needed to be cut. It was like 9 inches tall. So
Yikes.
he was like, here's the deal.
On the parking lot.
Not like they were parking on the grass at a park.
Gotcha.
And he said, look, the most I'm allowed to pay you without like submitting formal receipts is $600. He's like, I don't care. Like, can you do this for $600? So I drove by and I was like, that's like an hour, 2 hours worth of work. Absolutely.
Heck yes.
I called the rest of my clients and
look,
said,
I'm
hey,
gonna
something came up today. I can't, I'm going to be missing your yard today. And I cut that grass, because in the movie industry, when they say jump, you just say like when and how high, because the money is not an object.
Oh my gosh.
So I loved that job.
That is amazing. I hope that happens to every one of our listeners. You like go back to him and you're like, look, man, I'm going to make an exception this time. Just so that he thinks you're doing him a favor. And you're just like, okay, next time I need to ask for a bigger budget when we're making this movie. That is
I loved those.
Amazing.
Yeah, I only got like 3 or 4 of those, but I was so happy when he called me.
Oh, yeah, stoked. Okay,
right.
so
Number three
is actually, this is the one that I used to get my first 5 clients in a few days, is posting on social media. I posted on Instagram and Facebook was the one that actually got me the clients. And we've talked about this in a previous episode about using social media to get your business, get extra growth for your business. And yeah, Facebook was the one that actually drove more traffic to me than any of the other ones that I posted on. And so again, you keep this really simple. You throw it out there and say, hey, I'm starting a fill in the blank business. This is what I'm offering. Please reach out to me or shoot me a DM for a free bid, and we'll connect. That's how I got my first five clients in a few days. It was super clutch. One other tip about this is you could look for neighborhood Facebook groups or something like that. But I find like even just a general post and asking your friends, actually that happened organically. A few of my friends shared it and it hit all of their networks. So it's pretty clutch. You could even put a little call to action in your post and say, please share this.
Yeah,
it'd be super helpful. And if I'm not mistaken, we'll get to this a little bit, but I think I tried to incentivize people in that initial post as well.
Okay.
If you bring me another, like if someone comes to me from your referral, I will give you something.
Cool.
Maybe like a gumball.
I think it was probably more than a gumball.
Gumballs are awesome.
All right, number 4, moving us along. Printing some flyers and passing them out. Okay, so this one is kind of like there's a lot of debate around this when you look on social media and some of the discussion boards, but I think this is an amazing opportunity, hanging flyers on people's doors. So I will say this. Whenever you're going to, the 2 things you need to know. Number 1, don't stick them in the mailboxes. It is criminal how much junk mail we get in our mailboxes. It is criminal to put something in the mailbox if you are not a post person.
I was about to make sure that was super clear because, fun fact, whenever I posted this list really fast on TikTok, like, I don't know, like a year ago or something, I was like, just drop it in people's mailboxes. And then it's like so many people in the comments were like, yo, that's illegal.
That's a federal offense.
I was like, yikes. Like I would like to amend this. Please don't sue me, Mr. Postman.
Yeah. Put it on there. Hang it on their doorknob. You can order them with the little cutout and everything for that. So number 1 is don't put it in the mailbox. Number 2, put an offer on there. So it costs money to print these, and I am a huge proponent of anytime you spend money on marketing or advertising, to put away in there in your marketing materials to let you know whether it's working or not. So if you're going to spend $100-$200 on door hangers, make sure you put in there an offer that is unique to the door hangers. So it might be like, fall cleanup, 10% off, something free, a free plant or something like that you're throwing in, some sort of free like auxiliary service, like we'll clean this extra thing for you for free. That way it came from the door hanger. If they're like, hey, I saw this thing, I want this free thing, it's from the door hanger, right? And you can track that back. And really, if we're honest, like $100, $200 might feel like a lot, but 1 or 2 clients, it's paid for.
Paid for.
Right? Which brings me on to the next thing. Number 5, yard signs. So yard signs are another great way to get your name out there. A cool story about that, I was working with a former employee of mine as I got out of like running my own business, and I sent off one of my crew members, and he started his own business. He wanted to print some yard signs, and he was bold about it. He picked one of the busiest intersections in like one of the nicest neighborhoods here in New Orleans.
Let's
and just
go.
Stuck his signs out there.
Big boy.
He spent a couple $100 on signs and picked up, I think, 4 or 5 clients from it within the first month. And nobody's taken those signs down. They've been up there for almost a year.
Heck yeah.
He's still getting clients from it.
Yes.
So I don't know about the rules and regulations about where you're supposed. He was just bold. I was like, I would have been like, let me find out if this is okay. And he was like, nope, I'm just putting it.
Just gonna send it.
I'm just gonna zip tie this to the light pole.
That's what's up. We actually, I just remember Jacob and I, my co-founder with Check, we actually did that with our other company before Check, which was an on-demand lawn care company called Block. And we did these like beautifully branded, looked great, yard signs. And we just kind of I think we just put up like 20 of them all around these like different areas, or maybe it was even less. And people were just like, I see your stuff everywhere. And that was that helped.
So put up some yard signs, be bold about it. But if anybody asks, you didn't hear it from us.
Yeah, or be like, man, that's weird. I actually put it in one of my clients' yards, and somehow it made it to that super busy intersection.
I don't know. Somebody must have moved it.
Anyways, okay, hey, before we keep going, I want to give a quick plug for the Check app. The Check app automates all your routine admin tasks so that all your admin can be done before you get home. That's right. When you shower off, you flop down on the couch, you crack a nice cold LaCroix open. No more pulling out the laptop and sending invoices. No more catching up. No more falling behind. That is super 2020. 2020 sucked. So use Check to reduce stress, spend less time on your admin, and actually spend more time earning money. So here's an actual review from one of our users, Location Renovation. Get this. He said, been using the app for about a month, would highly suggest to anyone running a business. Only had one issue, and it was resolved the same day through communication via email. The person I spoke to was very professional and helpful. Let's go. That's what I'm talking about. That was a 5-star review.
5-star review.
Boom. Okay, but let's get back to the episode. Number 6, offer existing customers a referral bonus for new business. Here's why I absolutely love this one. You can set it up right now in 5 minutes by sending a text out to all of your clients. It doesn't have to be super well thought through. All you need to do is incentivize your existing clients or your network to get you new clients. So what you're doing here is saying something along the lines of, hey, I will give you 10% off your next cut. I'll give you $40 off your next cut, depending how expensive the cut is. I'm giving you a free cut every time you bring to me a recurring client. Maybe if you're in an industry where your average ticket size is much higher, you don't say, hey, I'm going to give you a free service, but you could say, hey, I'm going to give you 10, 20, 30% off your next service with me, something like that. You need to crunch your own numbers and figure out what works best for you. But the great thing is that you are paying out less than what you're going to make from that new client. And you can grow your business profitably all day with a referral business, with a referral program, and it is absolutely free to set up and start. I think it's incredible. I got a few clients that way And always the encouraging thing, or one cool thing, is that some of those people had even forgotten about it, and so it's like a little cherry on top whenever I was like, hey,
absolutely,
you get the referral bonus because you gave me that client. And but yeah, it's free to get going. It's super easy. Now, Matt, you told me you had a pretty sick referral bonus. Tell me about that.
Yeah. So, the company that I had was a little more than grass. We did like full service landscaping, and I had a deal where if you got me a client, then I would plant a free flat of flowers for you. Right, just some annuals, pretty whatever was in season, whatever Fresh. They wanted. And I had a client, and she was after those free flowers.
Let's go. That's what it's about.
Yeah, free flowers. So we serviced her quarterly, mostly just cleanups, pruning her trees and bushes and mulch and flowers. We changed out quarterly, and I don't think she ever paid for flowers.
That's beautiful.
Because we'd show up and she'd be like, this person and this person and this person, they all found about they all got jobs because I referred them. And so she was in it for the free flowers, and she never forgot. But that I mean, I told her like tens of thousands of dollars worth of business.
Yeah.
And I spent, $300-400 over the on flowers, like a flat of flowers in is $20-$30. It's not a big deal.
That's what I'm talking about,
right?
That is a well-designed referral program,
right?
Beautiful. Okay, number 7.
Post on Craigslist. Again, this is one that
isn't Craigslist dead.
I mean, it looks like it's from the 90s, and they haven't updated it
because
probably since the 90s. But look, it does not take much time. It does not cost anything.
That's right.
So there's really no reason not to. There are still people looking on Craigslist for services.
Yes.
So again, it's one of those things like don't not do it just because you don't use it, right? Mm-hmm. So pretty simple. Put your name in the post, put some images. Again, call to action. What do you want them to do? I want you to email me. I want you to call this number, go to this website, just be very clear about it, and send it.
Yeah. Call today for a free bid.
Yep.
Email today for a free bid. Something like that. Okay, number 8 is knocking on your customers' neighbors' doors. Now, the great thing about this is that it's beautiful for route density.
Yeah.
If you have we will rarely say you have to do something, but if you took on a client that is far outside of your route, and it's like, trashing your route density, you got to do this, because what you want to do is make sure that your routes are as tight as possible. Minimize that windshield time, minimize the amount of time that you're driving around. And whenever you have that client, you go next door and say, hey, I've been servicing old Jim's yard, and I would like to cut yours. Is it okay if I give you a free bid? And if they're like, yeah, sure, you walk the property, you give them a bid right then and there, and you may or may not win the bid, but the point is that they now know who you are. They have your contact information, and if they do need someone to take care of their yard, pressure wash, whatever, they're going to call you.
Yeah, and this works for services that are not reoccurring too. So for like landscaping, tree care, stuff That's like that, right? Let's say you've got a job and you're trimming a tree, right? Mm-hmm. Then you can hit up all the neighbors around on the street or whatever, and whether it's you or you send your helper down there to post business cards or flyers or knock on the door, whatever it is, and say, hey, we were in the neighborhood providing this service. And the whole idea is like, well, if my neighbor trusted them, then I can probably trust them. Yes. And that neighbor, let's say they're like, oh, I need my trees trimmed too. They can walk down and look at your work and look and say, oh, right there, they did a good job. Yeah. I'm going to hire him too. Right. Yeah. And so it's taking that opportunity to sort of piggyback on sort of somebody else's trust.
Yes. And because fun fact, someone is 4 times more likely to convert to a paying customer if they are referred by someone they trust. And so being in the same neighborhood as someone, you can go to, you could assume that they share similar-ish values or standards for their home, right? So then, yeah, you're leaning on their neighbors' rapport and saying like, hey, we're taking care of them. And you could also play a little bit of keeping up with the Joneses. Hey, we just made their lawn, their flower beds, their landscaping. It looks amazing. Go take a look down here, and we'd love to cut you a deal. You know, we'd love to do this. One last tip on this one is that I love doing this in cookie cutter neighborhoods. So you know those neighborhoods that developers throw up hundreds of houses in at once?
They're all the same.
They're all the same size. They all have this literally the same landscaping. And so what's cool about those is that you can bid those. You write it on a card because you don't have their information, so you can't text them, email them, or anything. But you can say, "Hey, I cut your neighbor's yard. I can do yours for this much." And contact me this way to like accept this offer, and I'll get you on the schedule.
Yeah, I mean, you're taking out a whole bid visit there.
That's right.
It's so efficient.
Yes,
I love that idea.
Yeah,
it's fantastic.
So that's great. That helped me pick up someone next door to one of my clients. Number nine,
my favorite, Nextdoor.
You love Nextdoor.
I love Nextdoor.
You love Nextdoor.
I don't love Nextdoor for all the political commentary and all the I saw so and so walking down the street and he looks suspicious and all that. But
someone lost their dog.
Nextdoor is good for that though.
Well, yeah, it's just like kind of 90% of Nextdoor
90%
is
of Nextdoor is people looking for lost dogs.
But you built a business on
Yes,
Nextdoor.
I built my. I would say 90% of my clients came from Nextdoor or referrals from people that I got on Nextdoor.
That's big.
Yeah,
that's big.
And so here, I'll let you know on.
Was that with or without ads?
I spent money only a couple times.
Okay.
Like seasonally, I would have an offer, free flat of flowers. I love giving away flowers.
Yeah. That's great.
Yeah, but no, it was nearly all organic. And here's what I did. I watched it like a hawk.
Okay.
I had my wife even help me. She would notice stuff and say, "Hey, so and so is asking about landscaping or yard care." Yeah. And so you watch and you look for people either looking for services or just asking general questions about your sort of area of expertise. So mine was landscaping and drainage, and so I would look for people who were saying, "Oh, I have this problem with drainage," or "I have this problem with my landscaping," or "I'm looking for somebody to solve this problem." And I would jump in there and say, "Hey, I'm a neighbor. I live on this street, or I live in this part of the neighborhood. I would love to come out and take a look and see if I could solve your problem." Now, here's the beauty of Nextdoor. If that was a direct message, then I would only be connecting with one person. But because it's this like post and thread and stuff, you get everybody else who's like, "Oh, I have that same problem. Let me look and see. And so I almost never sold the job to the initial person asking.
Whoa.
They would say, "I've been seeing you on Nextdoor, and I saw your information, and I saw you do this."
That's awesome.
And it just built. And I had, my neighborhood is solid, kind of blue collar, middle class, but it touches a couple. The way Nextdoor works is that you get to post in your neighborhood and all the neighborhoods that touch your neighborhood.
Yeah.
So I did have the advantage of one little corner of my neighborhood was touch this other corner that's up by the lake, and so you got some really nice lake houses and stuff like that. So yeah, we got some nice high end clients from that, and it was an easy sell because they're seeing
yes.
My free flower lady, she would jump in there and say, "Hey, this guy works for me. You should hire him." And of course, I would give her free flowers for that.
I freaking love her.
Yeah,
I don't even know her, man.
I know.
What was her name?
Jennifer.
Love you, Jennifer.
I'm going to send this to her.
Don't we all need Jennifers?
We do.
In our book of
she
business?
She was a champion. Yeah. Yeah.
Yes. I love Jennifers in business.
And this is a 9.1. This is 9.5.
Hit me.
Is find those clients who are willing to champion you. So I had another client not the free flower, but another client who was just fantastic about recommending me to people.
That's great.
And he just believed, he liked the service that we did, and he believed in our business. He believed in entrepreneurship, and he was willing to put himself out there for other neighbors. And
That's
so
big.
looking for those clients and just, thanking them when they do refer you. But there's people out there who will be your champion.
That's great. All right, 10. Number 10.
Bringing it home.
Bring it home. This one's completely free, and it has generated multiple leads per month since I set it up almost a year and a half, 2 years ago. Haven't really touched it, but it consistently brings in leads. Create a Google My Business profile. Okay, so absolutely free. You go to Google, or you could even Google My Business and set up a profile. Yep. But from there, you have the ability to add your logo, add your contact information, add your hours of operation. One of the most crucial pieces of this, which is kind of, again, like a 10 point, 10 and a half, is you then get your existing, you have your before and after pictures, or really showcase your, because they can't really see before and after, you showcase your best work. So, so that you don't post the before and they're like, oh man, that looks like trash. So only post your after pictures on your Google My Business profile. But then you get your existing clients to go and rate and review you on Google My Business. Mm-hmm. And what that does, is, we already talked about how much more likely someone is to convert to a paying customer if they are referred by someone they trust. Well, if they don't have someone that they trust that's referring them, where do they go? They go to Google. And whenever they find you and they see an empty page with no reviews, that might be game over for you. But if you have some of your happy customers, people who are satisfied, you prompt them and shoot them a text and say, hey, here's a link to my Google My Business page. Would you leave me a good rating and review? Then you'll find that I found that most everyone that I texted was like, yeah, no problem. And then that rating and review would show up. And then I can reuse that on my website.
Yeah.
But then that also helps give me credibility and make me look super professional whenever people Google for lawn care near me.
So that's the thing is Google Business Profile is going to show up in that search.
Yeah.
And so since home services are so localized, right?
Yes.
Like you are provided, I think if I remember right, when I set up Google Business Profile, you set a range of how far out you service. And so it really leverages that like near me search, like pressure washing near me, window washing near me, pool cleaning near me. And it allows people to find you. Any service provider that does not have a Google Business Profile isn't going to show up on that near me search.
Correct.
So there's no reason not to do it. It takes 10 minutes.
It's free. It really is a great one. And like I said, I set it up a year and a half to 2 years ago, and I still consistently get leads from that. And so it's a great one. Okay, so Matt, let's wrap this thing up. What is one thing that we want our listeners to go away with and do from this podcast episode?
Yeah, one thing to do is to do one thing on this list, right?
Easy, yeah.
One thing on this list. Now, we'll make it easy. I will share this list, link to this list. So if you're driving or you're out there cutting grass, cleaning pools, and you didn't write this down, that's fine. I'll leave you the link. Go back and try one of these things out, and then let us know in the comments, how did it work? Did you close down a new deal? Did you get new clients? Also, if you've got ideas for cheap and easy ways that you've used to grow your business, let us know those.
Yeah.
Yeah, let us know those, because we want to share the love. Like,
that's right.
We're all about helping everybody out on this. This is a community, and we all want to help each other grow.
That's right. And that's a great note to end on. So just remember that at Check, we are here to champion you, the operator. Now, if you got any sort of value from this podcast, it would mean the world to us if you left us a good rating and review, like this video, subscribe to future episodes so you never miss one. And then always remember that if you have a question that no one else is addressing, please shoot it to us in an email at podcast@hellocheck.co, and we'll get to it eventually.